Coming up this morning, investigators search for more answers in the Manchester suicide bombing. And one of the largest agencies in the state is about to suffer from extreme budget cuts. Those stories and more. WCBI Sunrise starts right now.
You're watching Sunrise on WCBI.
Good morning and thanks for waking up with us on WCBI Sunrise. Oktibbeha County deputies are asking for help finding a missing man. Investigators say 34-year-old Michael David Fulgham of Starkville has not been heard from in some time. He could be driving a red 2006 Suzuki Grand Vitara SUV. The vehicle's license plate is KUJ778. Deputies believe Fulgham left on his own free will, but family members are really concerned. If you know where Fulgham is this morning, call the Oktibbeha County Sheriff's Department. A Florida man who ran a bogus money scam targeting residents across the state is facing a 7-count federal indictment. Joel Pando of Miami, Florida, is accused of swindling a Boonville resident among scores of others in the phone scam. Pando and others working with him would call claiming to be an IRS agent seeking back taxes or a loan company saying the victim had received a loan they could claim by sending money to Pando. Well, Pando made his first appearance in Oxford federal court Thursday. The indictment says Pando took more than $49,000 in the scam, including $4,900 from the Boonville victim. A man indicted for robbing a West Point store is back in Clay County. 35-year-old Sean Woods is charged with armed robbery. He's accused of robbing the Little Rascals Exxon with a gun on October 23, 2016. Woods was being jailed in Shelby County, Tennessee. A governor's warrant was signed to bring him to the Clay County Jail. Sheriff Eddie Scott set his bail at $100,000. Noli Neal of Memphis was also charged in connection with the crime last October. Well, 52-year-old David Murray was arrested and charged with capital murder in the 1996 killing of Mac Fowler. Technology, DNA, and preservation of evidence is what led to his arrest. The evidence collected from the crime scene and its preservation allowed for more testing to be done. His DNA in the database system is what connected him to the crime. The director of the Mississippi Forensic Laboratory System in Pearl says it's one of law enforcement's most powerful tools.
It's only as good as the evidence collection that's done by those investigators. And in this case, they did a fantastic job, and it just took time and technology and patience to get a result.
Howell also says there's over 100,000 profiles in the DNA database. In 2015, Mississippi started putting felony arrestees into the DNA database. Murray was put in the system this past October after beating somebody in the head with a coffee mug. Well, it is time to get a first look at our morning forecast. Here's meteorologist Alex Puckett. Alex, happy Friday.
Happy Friday and welcome back, Renae. We're glad you're feeling a bit better. A nice and warm day today. We're going to be warming up into the upper 80s as we go through the rest of your Friday. Hot and humid through the day on Saturday. Late Saturday night, Sunday and Monday, though, we're going to bring some scattered storms back in the forecast. But we stay dry today and on the warmer side of things. We'll be to 70 degrees by 9 a.m. into the low 80s as you take your lunch break and topping out in the upper 80s in the afternoon. A bit breezy as well. The winds out of the southwest anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour as you get into the afternoon. We'll also bring a couple clouds in the forecast. And again, you'll notice the humidity ticking up as we go through the rest of the day as well. But we do have rain chances to bring into the forecast for your Memorial Day weekend. I'll have details on that and your full 7-day forecast coming up in just a few more minutes. Renae?
All right, Alex, thanks a lot. Well, the terror threat level in the United Kingdom remains at critical this morning, days after Monday's terror attack in Manchester, England, that killed 22 people and injured dozens more. Officials are urging the public to be vigilant, fearing accomplices that is, of the suspected suicide bomber may still be at large. Terry Okita has the latest from Manchester, England.
Heavily armed police officers are now patrolling train stations throughout the UK amid the ongoing hunt for accomplices of suspected suicide bomber Salman Abedi. Greater Manchester Police made at least one arrest this morning as they carried out raids in the neighborhood of Moss Side.
just quite scary that it's like 2 streets from my house.
After possibly being trained by ISIS in Libya, British police believe Abidi stayed at this apartment building leading up to the attack. The 22-year-old was reportedly driven to bomb the Ariana Grande concert Monday by what he viewed as unjust treatment of Arabs in Britain. A relative told the Associated Press he made a final phone call to his mother in which he pleaded, "Forgive me." As the investigation continues to unfold, British officials are once again sharing intelligence about the bombing with U.S. counterparts. Authorities briefly stopped those exchanges Thursday after pictures of the bomb's construction were leaked to the New York Times.
Intelligence that is shared between law enforcement agencies must remain secure.
British Prime Minister Theresa May confronted President Trump about the issue yesterday on the sidelines of a NATO summit in Brussels. In a statement, the president called the alleged leaks deeply troubling and vowed to prosecute those responsible to the fullest extent of the law.
Now, at least 8 people remain in custody in Britain, including Abidi's brother, while Abidi's father and other brother are being detained in Libya. Dozens of victims in the attack remain hospitalized. Well, still to come, although shot down for this legislative period, the idea of a state lottery isn't dead yet. But first, budget cuts have gone through the Forestry Commission like a chainsaw. Those stories and more next on WCBI Sunrise. And welcome back to WCBI Sunrise. It is 4:38. The Forestry Commission is one of the latest agencies in the state to feel the budget axe. The agency is going to lose a total of 75 positions statewide due to budget cuts. WCBI's Quentin Smith speaks with a fire chief about the impact these cuts are going to have.
My understanding that Oktibbeha County is going to be less some personnel that we had prior to the cut.
Greg Wall has been the fire chief at the Sturgis Volunteer Fire Department for over 2 decades. He says he was devastated when he first found out about the cuts being made to the Mississippi Forestry Commission.
Our equipment, especially here in Oktibbeha County, is designed to protect the structures, protect homes, businesses. We don't have the equipment to get out and fight wildland fires like the Forestry Commission does.
Wall knows the vital role the Forestry Commission plays when it comes to assisting volunteer fire departments.
We had a situation here in late March of this year where the ground was dry. We had 3 forest fires at the same day, and we had to call the Forestry Commission all 3 times to come in and plow a lane around the track to help us contain the fire.
A total of 75 jobs are now going to be eliminated due to the cuts, 25% of them being on the administration level and the other 50 being in the field.
I'm concerned that the Forestry Commission, with 50 less people across the state, they're going to have less personnel to send to the tracks to help us fight these wildland fires.
The cuts are also forcing the commission to reorganize and consolidate districts, going from 7 to 4. This means if a massive fire breaks out, responders could have to travel across several counties before getting to the blaze.
If they're coming from a further distance away, or there are fewer to respond, I can't help but to think that the fires will be larger before they arrive on the scene.
And that was Quentin Smith reporting. The cuts will go into effect July 1st. After much speculation, it was revealed earlier this week that a lottery would not be included in next month's special session. But that doesn't mean the idea is dead. A legislative study group met yesterday to start looking at the pros and the cons. They're looking at how the games work and how much money other states are bringing in. Members are also planning trips to Arkansas and Louisiana to see their operations firsthand. The issue is dividing state leaders. Governor Phil Bryant is promoting the lottery, while Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves and House Speaker Phil Gunn are opposing it. Mississippi is one of 6 states without a lottery. The Columbus City Hall is almost finished with its renovations. It's been a lengthy process, but they say that everyone should be able to move back in sometime in the month of June. As of right now, there are a few departments that have been moved back, including Human Resources. The building hasn't been renovated since the 1980s, and it started in October of last year. The project is costing a total of $1.6 million. It is time for a commercial break, but we will have a full look at our forecast with Alex Puckett after this.